Hey everyone, it's Bevin. Welcome to Bevin, a femme over 40 and her friends podcast. I'm your host, Bevin. If you are not watching this episode, you're missing my giant hat. I have brought the top hat out. I have multiple feathers that I like to put in my cap. I found this in my community's office one day in the free pile, and I was like, and I had needed like a witch hat for a costume. And I was like, you know what's better than a witch hat? A top hat. It's a cute little brown top hat. Anyway, the outfit's cute today, and I'm going to talk to you about something I'm so excited and passionate about. But first, let me welcome you to my podcast, Bevin, a femme over 40 and her friends podcast. I'm your host, Bevin. I've said my name 3 times. It's time to start the show. Um, Also, while I was sound checking, I think my owl friend returned. So I recorded my last podcast episode right here. I don't remember how long ago I recorded it, but I've been in these woods every day for the last 5 days, and I haven't heard that owl until again. So maybe this owl does want to be my co-host. Maybe it's the reincarnation of my cat Biscuit Reynolds, my formal co-host of the podcast. Anyway, okay. So the thing that I want to talk about, and like the theme of my podcast is start before you're ready. And part of the reason why last episode was about me overcoming defensiveness was because like the willingness to change my mind has resulted in so many great experiences in my life, including going on this cruise that like 2 years ago, I was like so anti-cruise. I was like, I would see these because I'm like right by where the cruise ships go, like when they're leaving for Alaska from Seattle. So like I watch them sometimes and I'm like, plague cruise. Why would you want to be on a cruise full of sick people? But you know what? I didn't also anticipate I don't, this is not a podcast about the pandemic, but I didn't anticipate it being just so loosey goosey free for all. And since it's going to be loosey goosey free for all, like I feel like everywhere is like a plague, infested thing. And we all need to take personal responsibility for our immune systems. And I do. And I have a lot of protocols. And so I, I became available to go on a cruise. And it wasn't even about pathogens. It was more about like, do I even want to cruise? Like I'd never been interested in cruising in my life, but you get enough passionate cruisers around you who talk about it. And then I became open to it. Like Rachel, my bestie, who brought me on this cruise. Like this is not something I could have paid for myself, even though there are lots of ways to save money on cruises. And it's actually very fascinating type of vacation. Um, and Rachel is like such a queen of deal hunting because part of like being frugal isn't about like I can't afford that thing. It's enabling you to pay less for things because you don't have to pay more, right? If you can be frugal about it and shop sales, and then you can take what you've saved and give it away, which is exactly what Rachel does. Rachel is so generous. She really is. Like I've known her, started from the bottom, now we're here. Like I've known her since she was like putting herself through college. So this is like executive Rachel going on vacation, inviting her BFF to be there with her. And I was so grateful for the invitation. And I had just like done enough like being open-minded to cruising because Rachel started going on cruises as a young person with her family. But I remember her going on an Alaska cruise and then a couple other cruises and like giving, gushing reviews about them that I was like intrigued. I was like, oh, what's it like to be in a hotel room essentially floating along the sea? And then I had a couple other friends who like loved cruising and like showed me videos from their phone of like people line dancing, like out on the pool deck and stuff like that. So I kind of I will say like my expectations of cruising going into saying yes to this were still different than what I experienced like studying for the cruise because listen, Rachel's a Taurus with a Capricorn rising. I am a Capricorn with a Virgo rising. We are both double earth babes. Like going on vacation together, we were both studying, like I watched all of the cruise ship tours of our ship. We floated on the Voyager of the Seas, which is like a 25-year-old, about 25, maybe 30-year-old ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet. So it's considered quote old, but like I didn't perceive it as old. I thought it was exquisite. Actually, it was a beautiful uh, piece of boat machinery. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was gorgeous, and I loved it. And so I watched like every cruise tour I could. I watched a lot of like things about the food because that was the thing I was the most nervous about and the most excited about because like putting my food needs in the hands of like the whims of what's available just in this ship felt like a trust fall. And I was also excited to like just try all the things, right? And try things that maybe I wouldn't try. And as someone who's really sensitive to dairy, especially not grass-fed dairy, and someone who is like totally anti-seafood, and gluten sensitive. I was a little nervous, but I had some stuff that like some tummy protocol stuff that I brought, and like a tincture, a special like immune boosting tincture that helped to cut the snot, because that's really what happens to me with dairy, is it like clogs up in here and it can cause migraines. It's not great. But you know, I flirt with it anyway. I'll have something with cheese on it, maybe take the cheese off, or maybe flirt with it depending on like what the season is. This spring, not a season for me in dairy. This spring is a season for taking the allergy pills, doing the little nasal rinse, which I do as a COVID prevention technique, which it has been shown to reduce symptoms or prevent infection entirely. So those little nasal rinse things, I use a little squirty bottle with like a saline packet. And anyway, so I went with all my protocols, I went with all my supplements, and I was super proud of myself for taking all my supplements every day, both times of day that I take them. Plus, I also brought some digestive enzymes to help with the tummy stuff. So, you know, I was prepared, but like part of the fun of a vacation is just preparation, right? It's just like being available for like understanding what's coming so that you can be really present when it's there. And then like after the vacation, it's like reveling. And I went on vacation and like looking at the pictures and reviewing the experience and like getting excited for maybe going on another vacation someday. So I took notes and I brought them with me this time. I hope that wasn't too ruffly next to the mic. Oh, and part of my cruise, my cruise preparation, I really saw how good it made videos to have a little microphone. So it inspired me to buy a little microphone for my trip. And I also saw where there were holes in content needed on YouTube, because YouTube is like really where the cruise vlogging happens, right? Like you can watch people's videos from their cruises, get tours of where you're going to stop on the cruise ship, because a lot of cruise ships stop places. Some of them you can just go on like cruises where you're just, you know, going from like they call it, I think it's a location change cruise. Anyway, like you could go from Europe back to the United States for like 14 days or whatever and not stop anywhere. But we had stops. So anyway, you can go and like watch people do stuff and give you like best case scenarios and suggestions and things like that. So what Rachel did very well was she rented a balcony room for us that had what was even more spacious, quote unquote. And like she did such a good job getting a good deal on that, because she surfed the sales, right? Like you book it initially, and then if there's another sale, you just like rebook and then cancel, right? Like and she did the same thing with cabanas that she rented. So we had two ports that we were stopping in. One was Laba de Haiti, which is a village, but it's also a peninsula, and the Royal Caribbean either owns it or rents it. But basically, it's exclusive to Royal Caribbean, and all the people who work there live in the nearby village. And so you're able to put money in the hands of people who live there that don't have, because of colonization, because of, you know, when Haiti was quote unquote liberated from France, France made them owe them money, even though they had extracted labor from them, slave labor for centuries. Like that in and of itself, I think is so gross. Like, I mean, I have so much judgment about that, but like just so gross, and it needs to be rectified. But like I thought I had a lot of feelings and thoughts about like, what does it mean for me to go to a colonized land that is so experienced in colonization? But also I live on colonized land that is also experiencing like heavy colonization effects, right? So like and I talk a lot more about this. I did a vlog after we got back from Haiti, so I talked a lot about that in that vlog. And I have a lot of cruise. If you really want to deep dive on Bevin's cruise, I'm putting up a whole cruise vlog playlist at Self Care Party on YouTube. That's my little name on YouTube. It's like youtube.com, whatever, / Self Care Party. The link is in the show notes. So you can go there. This podcast is not going to be all cruise content. It's just this episode is just the cruise content. But I will say I had a lot of thoughts and feelings and process about like participating in it. And the way I decided to participate in it is to bring money, you know, because sometimes like that's really the thing that people need most. And I felt really good about circulating. Like I had $50 that I had allocated for just tipping or circulating. Like I was like, maybe I'll buy something in Marketplace, whatever. So Rachel rented, because we were there with a group of, there were 6 of us total. So it was her sister's birthday, and then her sister brought 3 friends, and then me and Rachel. So the 6 of us were kind of like a group, but we all stayed in 3 different rooms. So we were kind of paired off. And I will say, like, the best part of the cruise for me was spending time with Rachel. Rachel and I can have a great time literally sitting on her couch and doing nothing. Like, we'll surf YouTube, we'll like each work independently, play with her dogs, eat some snacks, like we really can chill. Like, that is one of the best things we can do, but we can also turn up and like have great adventures together. It's like, cherish these friends. I will tell you, almost 25 years of friendship with Rachel, and it gets better and better over time. We've really invested a lot in this friendship, but like, it is rare when you find someone who just understands and loves all these versions of you that just keep unfolding. And hold on to those people and treat them very well. Read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. I did not know how bad my people skills were before I read that book, which was only like 6 years ago that I read it. So anyway, that whole last episode, me talking about like, oh, what did I miss out on being so defensive? Part of it is enjoying things that I once like had judgment about, right? You know, at some point you judge people who have tiny dogs and strollers, and then you are the person with an elder dog who wants to get out and about and see things. And so you are the person with the tiny dog and a stroller. I am grateful I've been willing to change my mind. It has helped my life a lot. Okay. So best part of cruise, Rachel. Second best part of cruise, balcony. Like, I have to say, like, if I did nothing on a cruise but sit in my stateroom and be able to sit on a balcony and watch the ocean, I would be a happy little camper. It was so magnificent. Like, I am a person who is kind of, I would say I used to call myself an ambivert, meaning like in certain circumstances, I can be energized by time with people. Introverts need to recharge alone. I'm an only child, so I actually like do really well with long stretches of alone time so that I can like return to center. Anyone who has like a top 3 placement in astrology in Scorpio needs 18 hours of alone time for 6 hours of people time, is what I think. Like, I heard this somewhere and I was like, yeah, that tracks. I have a Scorpio moon. So Scorpio is just like the kind of deep hider of the zodiac. Like, you never fully know a Scorpio, but a Scorpio wants to fully know you. That's the fun thing. It's like the detective of the zodiac, but lots of alone time, right? So a balcony allowed me to like go have my alone time with the ocean, which is like, for me, I have a very spiritual connection to the ocean. And I love, like, I live now, I've always lived near the ocean, but like I live now like sight distance to the ocean, and that is very happy for me. So I love it, living somewhere with so much coastline up here in Washington. I'm so grateful. So getting to sit on a balcony in the ocean was so great for me. So I will say balcony view all the way. And it was funny because when her sister came up to visit our room, she was like, your hallways are so spacious. And I was like, I wouldn't have said that, but like apparently the hallways, like, we were on level 9 on our ship. So like apparently our hallways were a little bigger. And I have to say, like, as a fatty, like, I'm a fat person, but I'm like, I would call myself a mid fat. Like, if you were to, there's a lot of different ways to describe fat because fat bodies are different, right? I saw there were a lot of different sized bodies on the cruise, and I think cruising is a very accessible way of traveling. There were a lot of people in wheelchairs. There were a lot of people with mobility carts and things that they needed, various mobility aids. And what's nice is on the cruise ship, everything is accessible, right? But I will say like getting an extra space option was good for mobility carts, because there was someone who had like a cart that stayed in the hallway, but we could easily get around it. If I ever passed someone, like apparently we didn't even go down to the other decks to look through the stateroom hallways. Like, we never had the occasion to, but apparently like you would have to fully like get around. Like, it was just closer quarters, so harder to get around. So just think about that. If you're a person who needs like size accommodations, if there's an option for more space, go for the more space. It's worth it, to have the better time, I think. It was a great cruising, just as a concept, was a great way to spend time with friends and family. Like, I actually, now that I'm totally on board with cruising, I am a quote cruiser. Like, I am absolutely in this. Like, I'm going to be cruising. I can't wait to take more cruises. I can't wait to see more things. I totally like there's a cruising influencer I now follow, named Professor Melissa, who's like a real university professor. She's a business professor. First of all, Professor Melissa is both smart and hot, 2 of my favorite things. And she's like so like into like whatever, like she's totally like pro like swingers. Like she's like, I love that there are swingers. She's like, I love LGBTQ people. I love that there are drag queens on the Virgin sailings. And like, if you don't like that stuff, oh well, don't go on those cruises, right? But like, I'm all for it, right? Like, so I love Professor Melissa for many reasons, but she has so many good tips. And I don't even. Oh, and she works from sea. She like goes on a cruise every month, so like she can do Zoom. She's like, something you have to buy a Wi-Fi package, and Rachel got us each a Wi-Fi package. So like I had the experience of like knowing what my Wi-Fi could do. I didn't try to do like a Zoom call, but she said she's had Zoom classes and taught from sea before. So I like could totally see myself taking some time and like doing like one of those transatlantic cruises and just like working, like getting a bunch of writing done, getting a bunch of content created, like going on work retreats when I can have a staff, like when I have that level of, I don't know. I look forward to a day when I have someone helping me with things, and we can go be on a cruise together and get some work done. I will say, like, so why it's a great way to spend time with friends and family. There's always so much to do. There's a diversity of things to do. We were on a Royal Caribbean cruise, so it was like there were kids there, people of all ages, truly. And so I thought it was just like a great way because like us and the other 4 people that we were traveling with could meet up for meals, and we met up for many of our meals, all of our dinners, but not all of our meals. But it was cool. And like we hung out on the pool deck for a while together. So it was cool to have a group to spend time with and take pictures with, but then also we could easily like peel off and do other things. So I feel like this would be a great family vacation. And I look forward to having family vacations on a cruise ship. Sounds so fun. Plus, like Rachel and I have now declared we're in our cruising gay auntie phase of life. And so it's really like also for me about the outfits. I love getting to be somewhere with all of my outfits nearby so I can like go and change for the occasion and then take a little promenade and then go and change and take a little promenade. I definitely packed a full like checked luggage and brought it with me on board so that I could, and I calculated all of my outfits. Like I knew what I was wearing when. There was only like 2 things I didn't wear, which I thought was pretty good. Um, but Professor Melissa had this advice. She's like, don't bring that many shoes because it takes up a lot of space. So I was very judicious about my shoes. And that was great because like everything else like fell into place and I had all the outfits I wanted to. So I had 4 bathing suits, which I felt really good about. And in fact, could have squeezed in a 5th and possibly might next time. We were on a 5-day cruise. So like I figured I would repeat one day of bathing suit. And Rachel knew the hack already of like metal hooks because I guess all of the walls in a cruise ship are magnetic. So like, and you can also hang metal hooks, like magnetic hooks to the ceiling. So it was a great way to dry our bathing suits and our cover ups. So highly recommend that. If you need cruise hacks, there's many people who have cruise hacks. Okay, but I also like found cruising is a true vacation / retreat. I think a lot of times I like try to treat my pet sits like a retreat and things like that, but I'm still like cooking and cleaning and like all of those things. And you don't have to do anything on a cruise. Like you have a room steward. So like every day someone's making your bed and like picking up the towels, refreshing the towels, like all of those things that are so nice to have. We only got towel animals on 2 days. So I think if you want towel animals, oh, here comes a bird. If you want towel animals, you got to ask for them every day. But I wish I had known to do that. So that's me passing that advice on to you. We only got towels 2 days. And it was funny too, trying to guess like what the animal was. One of our animals was a penguin, but it looked a lot like a vulva with a little clitoris on the top. It was so funny. I saw the penguin, but like, I don't know. I wasn't looking. I feel like if it was supposed to be a vulva, it would have looked more like a vulva, in my opinion. But it was funny that it was a penguin that looked like a vulva. But yeah, like trying to actually have a vacation where like you're not cooking and cleaning constantly. I just feel like when you rent an Airbnb or like go away for something, like you end up doing a lot of labor. And then you end up with like group dynamics of like my mom calls it the princess who doesn't like pick up after themselves or like contribute. And like who's doing that, who's not. And so none of those dynamics. Royal Caribbean, their staff is handling everything. And you know what? The staff was amazing. The service was definitely like high on my list of highlights. I think, and I've heard good things about Royal Caribbean in general. I think they're like a good first time cruise to go on. And they have really quality. I would say the food was pretty great, like overall. Some of it was a big miss. And I have food vlogs because I saw that hole in the market. So those are going on my cruise vlog. So you can hear all about the food. But I really enjoyed getting to taste a lot of things. That's the cool thing about all the food being included is you just get to taste stuff and you just get to know what's good, right? And I got to try. Oh my God, is that a bat? Okay, it's either a bat or some kind of bird that looks like a bat, but it just keeps flying around me. Hello, friend. I think it's a bat. I love bats. Anyway, okay. It's like, part of being a forest creature is like being camouflaged in the forest. I wonder if you can see. It's like right here, but you can't see it. It like camouflages onto the forest around it so that it can hide from predators, which I get. Um, Oh my God, that's so cool. That's never happened during a podcast recording. A bat flying around. Maybe it's my top hat. Probably it's my top hat. Okay. So the food was cool. I have to say the main dining room experience, I'm all in. Like in Royal Caribbean, I'm like, should I just change the angle so you guys can see this bat flying around? So on Royal Caribbean, I hope this isn't too chaotic for you, but maybe all of you are ADHD cuties like me. So this main dining room, it had the biggest chandelier I have ever gotten to dine next to. I'm sure I've seen bigger chandeliers, although this was like literally 3 floors big. Like it went from, because the main dining room was 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor. And like we were, hello. Okay, this is too cool. Truly too cool. Sorry guys that I'm not a good enough videographer to get this for you, but this bat keeps swirling around me. It's the top hat. So this multiple floor, like we were on the 5th floor, it's hanging on the 5th floor and it's like really bolted, steel bolted into the ship. So it did not wave. It was like, and there was a day, I will say there was a day where like cruising was like this all day long. I'm really intent on like you guys seeing this bat, but I don't know that I'm gonna get it. Anyway, so there was a day where we were like very much rocking and rolling at sea, and but that that chandelier did not move around. So, but it was huge. It was like it went from the 5th floor all the way down to like the top of the 3rd floor. So it's basically 2 stories big, massive, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. Couldn't have picked a better chandelier. I'm excited to see more cruise ship chandeliers. It felt very Titanic to me in like the good way. I'm like truly in my unsinkable Molly Brown era. You know what I mean? Like I am just here. I'm persisting. Here I am enjoying my life as best I can everywhere I can. And I really thought about like not talking about the cruise at all on any of my content creation stuff, but it was so enlivening to me and I enjoyed it so much. And I want to remember it and I want to offer it to other people that either maybe you want to go on a cruise, maybe you don't, but maybe you want to hear about it. And if you don't want to hear about it, you can skip my episodes. It's all good. Don't go see my cruise vlog. But maybe if you like it, go see my cruise vlog because I took a lot of good content. And I did a lot of cute little vlogs on our balcony about the experience, like right as I was having it. So also unintentionally did not really, because none of the tours of the ship went through and into the main dining room. And even the ones that were in the main dining room talking about the food did not give me a chandelier shot. And so that was missing for real from all of the Royal Caribbean Voyager the Seas content that I saw. And my outfit for formal night, there's a formal night on cruises, you guys. I love a formal night. I love an excuse to dress up. I love a theme night. And so my formal night dress was a dress that I had not yet worn. Here's our bat friend again. A dress I had not yet worn that I've had since like 2018, I think. And it's like one of those things where like, your body has like a pendulum where it like kind of goes up and goes down. And for whatever reason, my body like went up a little bit last year and it fits perfectly right now. Like this dress is not going to fit perfectly like once 10 pounds or 15 pounds is off, right? So like I was like, perfect time to wear it. She wants to go on the high seas. And so I brought it and like it was stunning. And I didn't realize I was dressing to match a chandelier, but boy, were we twinning. So anyway, the chandelier was definitely a highlight for me in this cruise. This is a very Bevin like reviews of cruise moment. I hope you appreciate this. Okay. Um, okay. Abundant group sing-alongs. Now, I had the impression that like everywhere I went on this cruise ship, I was going to be doing line dancing. I really just was like ready to learn new line dances, ready to have the experience of line dancing with strangers and like having a gay old time. I learned one line dance the whole time, and it was from one of our friends in our group of 6 when we were at this like country DJ night at the nightclub on board. And it was like in the activities brush, like there's an app for Royal Caribbean, and it shows you your daily calendar of activities. Now, mind you, I had been going through this calendar of activities to see what was available. And so I saw like a fun line dance. That's the name of the workshop. So I was ready for the beginning of day 2, our first day at sea, to go up at 10 a.m. and go do this fun line dance class. They changed it the morning of, I think, to a dance aerobics class. Now, I'm a dance aerobics teacher, and part of why is because I'm so picky and annoying about like what I'd like to do for fitness activities that I had to create one myself. I will go to other people's classes, but usually I learn from what I don't like about what they teach to take me and like project me into what I do like. Now, I was wildly disappointed when I was doing like a dance fitness on a deck instead of having a luxurious line dance class, fun line dance class. But I did get like one move for Fat Kid Dance Party, so my time was not wasted, but it was like this is really this podcast episode is supposed to be what I loved about my cruise, but I'm going to tell you what I was annoyed by. So I'm only just a bit of this annoyance. The other annoyance will be in the cruise vlog. But we were on the deck, like the deck of the cruise. Whoa! Now that bat has come very close to me. Hello, friend. I don't know if that caught on video, but that was very close. So this usually you see them like way up in the tree canopy, just kind of flying around with each other. This one is so close to me, and I've never seen a bat this close. It is a real shame that I'm not a better videographer. But I will say, let's see, I learned one good dance aerobics move from the dance aerobics class. I'm just trying to hold this up in case she goes flying by again. Maybe it's the bugs. They do like tasty bugs. There's a lot of tasty bugs in the forest. I have my 3 layers of bug protection. Anyway, so we were on the pool deck so there's a kids pool area, and then there's an adults only pool area. So we were in the kids pool area in this like clearing, like the only clearing that was there. There's so many deck chairs that there's nowhere to be. Like the deck chairs are all boom, boom, boom right next to each other. So like if you want to change, you have to be in like an aisle where people are trying to walk by. Because I kept wondering while we were doing this dance aerobics class why people kept walking through a fitness class. I'm like, that seems not wise. Like, because we're doing like moves, like big arm moves, right? And like kicks and stuff. Like it was a lot. And yet people were walking through us. And it was annoying, but I was trying to just be there and persist because I showed up and I wanted to honor that I showed up. And I gave myself, like, this is what I tell people to do with fitness anyway, is like give yourself 15 minutes. And if you hate it, stop doing it. And so I gave myself 15 minutes, and then I gave myself 5 more minutes, and then there was only 10 more minutes left of class. So I was like, fine, I'll just finish this out. And I was glad I did, but I didn't love the environment. Like I don't mind doing aerobics in a park or outside. On a pool deck is fine, but like having a ton of people who are not engaged in the class also there, especially also kids, like it was a lot, and I didn't love it. But I did it. I'm proud of myself for doing it. And every other time I tried to get to a line dance class, they just wasn't there or got rescheduled or whatever. So I thought there would be endless line dance classes. There weren't. But what I didn't think about, group sing-alongs everywhere all the time, especially as the cruise wore on and people got a little looser. There was a piano bar downstairs, which like on all of the cruise tour videos, people were raving about this piano bar. And the piano man like could play everything, right? And so of course they played Sweet Caroline. I sang along to Sweet Caroline 3 times on that cruise. That was fun. And of course, like I sing along like from the depths of my soul, because singing is like how, like using your voice is tapping into your joy. Is actually incredibly therapeutic. And I love to sing. And I always know, like this is when I went to the burn with Rachel, and I did a podcast about that too. Like when I knew I was truly in my liberated spirit, like all the people walking around in their loincloths and doing their weird burn things, when I knew I was doing that was when I would just sing when I heard a song I liked, you know? And so like top of my lungs, Sweet Caroline, right? Like it's me. I'm here. I'm enjoying this. But then also what I love too was like just like the way I love the way spirit just connects with me and like gives me signs and symbols for my loved ones. And the song My Way was played at my friend Ria's funeral 11 years ago. I truly cannot believe it's been 11 years since she passed. I am now older than she was when she died, which is bonkers to me. She was always 11 years older than me. And now here I've been 11 more years on the planet. And I'm lapping her. But I really feel like she comes through for me really strongly. And she, like the last night of the cruise, I just decided I wanted to take a wander. So Rachel and I travel so well together because like if I want to like take time for myself on the balcony or like meditate or whatever, and Rachel wants to take a walk, she'll go take a walk. If she wants to take a nap, she'll take a nap, right? And like she wanted to stay in the room and pack, and it's actually easier if someone's packing. Like I unpacked my suitcase before she came into the room. I forget what she was doing. Maybe she was on a wander, and like and that was easier, right? And so like her packing, and then I think she went to the casino, and so then I like packed my stuff separately. Anyway, it's just easier because in a small room, like I have to say, the rooms were so well appointed. Like there were plenty of shelves, closet space, and things to put things away, especially with our hooks. So it was easy to just be and not have to be living out of a suitcase, which is again another way that like it really is more like a true retreat, a true vacation than just like living out of a suitcase and hustling from place to place. Because like think about like if you're like in Europe, like going from place to place, like that's a different type of vacation than like your hotel room is on a ship and you just go from place to place and the ship brings you places. Again, total 180 about cruising. I think it's a very accessible way to see the world. So I'm wandering the ship. It's Sunday night, and like I'm coming out. Oh, I think I came out of like this Wicked sing along, which like they played the sing along version of Wicked in the. There's a movie theater on board. There's an ice skating rink on board. The ice skating show, that was also a highlight. That was so good. It was a tarot themed ice skating show, and I was like, oh, they're actually doing magic. They're actually casting a circle. I was like, I don't know that the dancers know what they're doing, but I know what they're doing. Anyway, it was brilliant. And if you can see it, go see the tarot show on the Voyager seats. It's very good. Very good. I mean, I just had low expectations. I was like, what's an ice skating show going to be like on a cruise ship? Very good, apparently. So I'm coming out of this like kind of disappointing Wicked sing along because no one was really singing. But you know, I'm like, there's other places to sing on the ship. So I wandered out and I heard My Way. And I was like, and it was like from the piano bar. And I was like, so I like just followed the siren call and I was like, oh my God, this song, this person, this connection I have with this person. It felt so good. And then I was like, okay, let me wander a little bit more. I think I went to the cafe and like probably got a chamomile tea or something that I needed to wind down. They had a pretty good tea. I'm a tea snob, and they had pretty good bagged tea, like better than you would expect for what was included. Because if you don't buy a drink package, and I have one of my food vlogs talks about the drink packages, but if you don't buy a drink package, like what's included is like tea, coffee, iced tea, water, maybe juice, but not the good juices. And you know what? Frankly, I never found the good juices. So anyway, but those are included in there, like at this cafe that you can go to all the time. So I went to get a cup of tea. And then as I was like walking with my tea to the elevator to go back to my room, I heard My Way again coming out of the karaoke room, which I never once went to karaoke. I went to the piano bar a lot, but karaoke is different. I don't know. The vibes are different. But then they played My Way like at the karaoke thing, which like on a cruise ship, that's probably a song you think you're going to hear. But the group sing-alongs to me, it's like tonic for the soul. I loved it so much. So I have to say I was disappointed in the line dancing, but very excited about all of the singing people did together and how fun it was. And like how you could just sing along as you're walking by something. And I will say a top memory of mine on that cruise was at that country DJ night, which was like someone who is a former nightlife professional. I used to run nightlife in New York City for several years. I ran drag shows. Like I just know a thing or two about gathering people and creating a vibe. Lighting is everything. Lighting and sound are like very crucial components. And so is like ergonomics of a space, right? But this nightclub that they had on this ship was like it was too much lighting for people to have a vibe. And then like the country DJ was like, I feel like they were just showing up to the gig. They weren't like, here I am making this gig happen. And that's a different vibe. And yes, I am a natural Julie the cruise director sort of personality. So like, yes, of course I have thoughts and feedback. But I wasn't working. I was on vacation, so I was just there to enjoy. But so they played a lot of good music, but it didn't really get the crowd riled up or doing anything except for our little posse. And when Friends in Low Places came on, I will say another opportunity to sing something I love at the top of my lungs. And like singing that along with Rachel and like our friends, and like I had maracas on me because now I'm a person who has maracas. And hello, bat friend. Do you want to be on camera? It is literally. Do you see it? Ugh, it's so hard to catch. But it is just flying lower and lower. Anyway, maybe. I feel like I'm just going to keep leading this. I don't know how many minutes of this podcast are about me talking about this bat, but clearly the bat wants to be my co-host without being on camera. I get it. Okay, so Friends in Low Places, Bevin has maracas. Our port days, just phenomenal. We before mentioned we went to Haiti. That was our first stop on day 3. Waking up, I was on the bed next to the sliding glass door to go to the balcony, and waking up and just moving the curtain aside and seeing the mountain that was beyond the peninsula, the forest on the mountain, and like sunrise above Haiti. Like, oh my God, I can't even tell you how beautiful it was. And like, and also like, again, like, when am I going to go to Haiti? Like, how am I ever going to get there? They closed like less than 2 weeks after our cruise. They stopped stopping at that space, which makes me feel very sad for all of the people that I interacted with, like the hardworking people whose livelihood depends on Royal Caribbean stopping there. But now, for security reasons, they're not stopping there. But it was so moving to be there. It was such a peaceful land. And like going there as someone who has now really worked on my energetics and like how I connect to space and how I show up to space. And like, of course, I'm like praying in like a group of trees, like not caring what other people think about me. I'm just like, oh, here's a nice little grove. Let me see what this feeling and energy is in. It was stunning. It was amazing. The people there were so awesome. There was like, and I really have a whole nice rundown of what we did in Haiti, so I'm not going to go all into it, but like the maracas were like my impulse buy on the way, because I still had 10 more bucks. I had like tipped a lot at the coffee stand because I went there. I got like 3 different coffee beverages while we were there. So they had a coffee stand and I had the unlimited drink package. So I'm like going to have every kind of Starbucks beverage I want. And so I had like tipped a lot there, and like tipped a couple other people who were doing well, you know, like the bathroom attendant and stuff like that. Because I just intended to circulate this money. And like we never bothered to go to the marketplace because we had like the perfect beach day, like having a cabana, having a freshwater thing to wash off in. They had party banas. There are cabanas that float on the ocean. So like you could swim out and then be in the shade. So like me and Rachel, like hanging around, like she's on the party bana and I'm like floating in the water below because I didn't want to haul myself up onto the party bana. I was just enjoying the shade and being in the water. And me and Rachel talking shit about Christopher Columbus. Like, imagine coming to this beautiful, peaceful place and seeing this and like deciding to colonize, like, and take advantage. You know, like all of it is so gross. And like, again, that's how I feel about it. It's just gross. It's just not the vibe I want to live. And I think like the more people who just don't take colonization as something that should happen, you know what I mean? Like the more of us who get liberated from colonized thoughts, the better and better and better the world will be. Like, we don't need a majority, we just need a passionate minority to really like overthrow the whole concept of white supremacy, which like I know I can't do it by myself, but I can do it bit by bit, and by sharing my heart and talking about my experience with things, I know I help somewhat. I don't know how, but I know I do a little bit. So just doing the best I can to enjoy my life, but also topple the patriarchy. It's here we I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not. So, but that's a precious memory, having one of the best beach days of my life, like someplace where like, you know, all this horrible things have also happened, which is also true of like almost every beach I've been to. It's like horrible things have happened there too. But just trying to be there in the presence of like how beautiful and wonderful it was. Also, I didn't update my bird app before I my bird app, which is the Merlin bird app, by the way. And I didn't update my bird app. Sorry, I realized my bird app was going. I didn't update my bird app before I got there because they have like packs of like bird songs. So it could only use the North American pack. to identify birds, but the bird song that it did identify when we were in Haiti was the white-winged dove, which, like, if you're a Stevie Nicks fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about, which is the opening of Edge of 17. And so anyway, everything about it just felt so magical and so peaceful and so beautiful. And the beach was so comfortable and magical. And like the amenities were great. And it was just truly my best beach day ever. Really great food. Like, except the food on Haiti, on Labadee, was the best we had. Better than the boat and better than in the Bahamas, which was our next stop. So as we're leaving Haiti, and we actually kind of got hustled out like far earlier than we had planned, like probably about 45 minutes earlier. We were supposed to leave anyway, whatever timing it was like 45 minutes before I thought we were going to leave. And so we're getting hustled out. I never got a chance to go to the market. And so then as we're passing some of the musicians who were playing, like there was a band and some dancers, who I also tipped on the way in, they were like sort of playing as we were leaving. And then some of them like had maracas for sale. And so I like impulse bought maracas. And you know what? Best souvenir. What a great idea. I'm so glad I bought them. They brought so much joy. And in fact, my favorite quote from the cruise wasn't even from any of us who were on the cruise. It was Rachel's spouse, Jay. She had sent a video of us singing happy birthday to Tasha on her birthday celebration dinner night, which we were all wearing emerald green. That was our team outfit for the night. I tried to get more team outfits, but nobody would do it. So it was just emerald green night for us, for our group. And the maracas, I had two choices of colors, red or emerald green. So of course I picked emerald green. And so I had a big tote bag with me. And so like when we sang the birthday song, I just kind of slyly pulled out my maracas and started shaking them during the birthday song. Because you know what levels up a birthday song? Maracas. So my favorite quote from the cruise is the response Jay had to the video of the birthday song is, "Where did Bevin get maracas?" And you know what? I want to live that way. Like where did Bevin get maracas? Like where did these come from? That's the level of spirit I want to have wherever I go. So I'm really excited about those maracas I impulse bought as I was leaving because I wanted to get the rest of my $50 out in circulation. So grateful I got those. Highly recommend you get maracas if you see them somewhere because they are so fun. Anyway, our other port stop was on a private island that Royal Caribbean owns, which is called Coco Cay. And it's called Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Actually Key, it's what it should be because it's a key, which is like not technically an island. It's a coral reef that has become a landmass, like the Florida Keys, right? It's the same stuff. But it's in the Bahamas. And so like, and that one was interesting because the staff vibe was different on Coco Key because it was like they all live there. And so it's much like people living on a cruise ship. Like you're there for several months and then you get to go. And like I also really loved that the staff was very honest and transparent with us. Like I thought that was incredible. Like a lot of times the staff, tries to put on a front, but these ones like truly honest with us about like their lifestyle and like how much time they get to do laundry and how much time they get off and that kind of thing. So anyway, I really liked our cabana steward. And the food there was excellent. Like there were great empanadas, great pizza, there's like a chicken mozzarella stick sandwich. Apparently mozzarella sticks are very famous there. And there's a lot of stuff that you can only get there that isn't on the ship. And then there's some stuff that's also on the ship, but it was great. Like the food was great. And I have to say, like, just like Labadee was my very best beach day I've ever had, which like to top all, I love going to the beach. Like going to the beach is my fave, but like I also need I'm very fair. I have to stay out of the sun. I need a lot of things to be comfortable, but to be able to show up and have someone else give you towels and like not have to schlep a thing, just show up. That was nice. So we also had a cabana, and this is also how Rachel surfed the sails. And I want to share this with you. So for both Labadee and Coco Cay, she got cabanas, and then she would like look for the sales, and Royal Caribbean does these like flash sales. So she'd look for a really good sale and then book a new one and then cancel the old one. So just FYI, like cabanas are worth it. Super fun having someone there to bring stuff, especially if you're traveling with like a bigger group and you need like a place to cluster that's like shaded and has like full on, like not just benches, but like full on couches. You can take a nap. Several people took naps in our cabana. There was like a moment um, on Coco K because I'm really good at doing my own thing in a group. So like I would go on my lap and then I came through and everyone was asleep, but I wasn't drinking. So like I was like having a nice like caffeine high on my many beverages. Like many, oh man, we had a mini bar in that cabana was very different than the one on Labadee. And we had a mini bar, so like it had all sorts of like canned beverages. So I drank. This is my height of luxury. There's a lot of food waste, I will say, on a cruise, which doesn't feel great to me, but we accept what happens, right? But I was able to just like pull out a Diet Coke and drink the crispy top third of 3 Diet Cokes. Because if I have more than 1 Diet Coke, that's not great for my heart rate or my feelings because all of the stuff in Diet Coke, right? I've really like cut like it's my alcohol now. Like I don't drink alcohol and I don't drink Coke on the regs. And I don't drink regular Coke, just Diet Coke. I like Diet Coke. It's delicious. Anyway, the crispy top third of a very cold can of Diet Coke. Oh my God. That was the height of beach luxury, right? So we're there and like part of, we were in the adults only section, which is nice. The adults only section of the island. And there was another big boat with us, the Icon of the Seas. So like you got to meet different people and we were like ours was kind of like a nightclub basically in a pool, and it has the largest swim up bar. It has a heated pool, which Rachel got specifically because she was like, I think the heated pool is gonna be nice for us. And the swim up bar and like the DJ, like I prayed about the DJ the night before because like a bad DJ will ruin your day or night or whatever experience it is. Again, nightlife professional, the music really matters, and especially music like you can't control. And we did have in our cabana, we had our own little Bluetooth thing. And there were cabanas that were like further out. So like you didn't have to be in the nightclub, like the heart of the nightclub, but we sure were. And you know what? Really great DJ, especially for that crowd. Like played a wide diversity of music, but like also would play things between 3 seconds and a minute and a half. And like that's it. And it was just like bit, 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 bit. And like, oh, the Kendrick Lamar rock block where there were like, probably like 6 songs in a row, like clips, plus the like my favorite little clip, the 40 Acres and a Mule, you can't fake influence, like that stuff. So good. It was just I tipped him $20. Like I was like, thank you for being so great. Like I walked through the pool to hand him money when they were trying to get all of us out. Anyway, I loved tipping. Tipping is like to me, like I got this clarity too, like while I was because Rachel loves roulette and like loves the energy of roulette and all and like gambling and stuff. And I don't love that energy. I love the energy of just like generously giving money. And I had never tipped anyone with casino chips before, but because the piano man played a song I love that we were singing at the top of our lungs, I was like, Rachel, and I didn't have any money on me. I was like, Rachel, can I have some money to tip the piano man? So she is like, all I have is casino chips. Here's $5. So I tipped him with a casino chip. So that was my first time ever tipping with a casino chip, which felt really fun. So I will say, I think it was the best nightclub I've ever been to in that heated pool with all these strangers, like of all sorts of walk. There was a throuple next to us. It was very cute. Like there was a lot of fun things happening. And like sometimes there were packs of teenage boys, which is very off-putting, especially on the ship. Like, but I'm grateful nothing weird happened. But like I think in some ways being a queer person and around teenage boys, it feels like they're a predator of me and my friends. You know what I mean? Because I've just like, you know, anyway, I'm not going to get too into that. That's a story for another day. But like the teenage boy stuff was hard, especially like up in the adults only pool area. Suddenly, like I'm in the hot tub and like this group of teen boys comes and they're trying. Like I remember what it was like to be under 18 and not allowed somewhere, and then to like break the rules. And like I'm not a cop. I'm a sister, right? Like so I don't turn people in and I don't enforce things. But I'm also an ice queen. So like if someone is disappointing me or annoying me, I'm just gonna ice them out, not paying any attention to them. So I got up out of the hot tub and left when the group of teen boys was there. And then so then like I did a couple other things, and then I came back around and my friends were in the hot tub and those teen boys were still there. And so I took a picture of my friends in the hot tub, and the teen boys were trying to get their picture taken because they want attention. And I am not going to even pretend like they exist. I don't know. That's the way I deal. Maybe it's mean. I don't know. But I am a Scorpio moon. There's a little vengeance in me. But there was like a couple of teen boys in that. I mean, they had to have had an ID check, I suppose, to get into this like hideaway beach or whatever they called it. And there was an actual beach part that I would walk to and like go swim through the ocean, but it was this nice little protected cove, so it wasn't splashy ocean. It was just nice, cool, calm ocean to swim in, just like on Labadee, like that the part where we were at. It was a nice, cool, calm ocean to swim in. And so with lifeguards and everything. So anyway, beautiful, perfect, easy. But I was like trying to take a cute video of me on this swing set. And then suddenly this teen boy comes and sits like next to me on the other side. And like, I'm so full of outrage and annoyance at the time, of course. And then because I'm willing to change my mind, because I'm willing to assess and have a different perspective on things later, I went back and I was looking at the footage and I was like, oh, he looks so sad. He just needed a connection. You know what I mean? Like, if only I could have been my sparkly Bevan self and like, had a little stranger connection with this kid, I probably could have brightened his day. And also, like, I was just so fatigued with the teen boy stuff and like trying to enforce adults only areas. Like, on this cruise that like I wasn't open to it. And like I'll say, like in hindsight, like I wish I had taken the path of grace and compassion because that's how I want to live. But of course I can't be perfect because I am nothing close to perfect. So anyway, that was my little like looking at that video, I did feel bad. I mean, and I felt bad for me too, because I really wanted this content and I couldn't get it. So anyway, if you see a gal with a tripod in front of her trying to take a picture on a swing set, assume she doesn't need a co-star. Okay, what else? Abundant cruise sing-alongs on my list. We've talked about that. Cruise crush. I did pray ahead of time. Maybe I'll have a cruise crush. It's so fun when you're in like a small, like 3,000 people on this boat. It's a very small boat compared to the Icon of the Seas that we were next to. Like, I think it's like either 6,000 people or more than that. It was a lot of people over there. Um, but on our ship, I was like, maybe I'll get a cruise crush. And I did. It was someone I talked to like in the elevator on like day one. And like he had chips in his hand. So I just asked, or they, I don't know pronouns, but chips in the hand. And I was like, oh, what are you playing? Are you winning? And so anyway, like it was just a cute little banter. And then the next day I was in line to check back in my towels, and because you have to check them out and check them in. And I was checking back in my towels and I realized I was behind this person in line. And I was like, as they were walking away, I was like, am I hot for them? Like, because I'm rarely interested in someone just on looks alone. You know what I mean? It's usually, I think it was helpful that we had talked briefly, but like, then like I just kept seeing them everywhere. And then when Rachel was playing roulette, I was like able to watch them like right across the roulette wheel, which was just like, I was like, this is a gift from God. I love to have a crush and get to look at them and like have a reason to look in their direction. Right. Which is very cute. And so then I was like, I don't know, like I intended to like have another sparkly conversation if ever we ran into each other. And then the very last day of the cruise, as we're leaving to disembark the cruise with my broken luggage, because they broke my luggage, RIP, Royal Caribbean. Rachel was very kind. She gave me a fresh luggage before I left Atlanta. So I didn't have to like take this broken thing and wheel it onto a ferry because I go home in this. I live very far from the airport. I also did a day in the life vlog. Wish me luck with all this editing. I did a day in the life vlog of like getting off the peninsula to the airport because it is quite a lot of transportation modalities, and you need a wheelie suitcase that works really well. So I'm like taking this broken, limping thing off of the boat, and anyway, so but then that last ride, they were in the elevator with I think their daughter. I don't know. It was like Rachel was like, I expected you to like do your magic with the little girl, and I was like, yeah. I froze. I had a freeze response, which is very typical of me. If I have a crush on someone, I will totally like play it so cool you have no idea. Again, ice queen things. I'm working on it, but all that to say, I told this story to a couple of millennial friends, and they were like immediately like, we can find this person on the internet. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to find them on the internet. I feel like I trust the goddess to like make it happen again. Right. So, but how fun to have a crush and to know that I'm not dead inside. Because sometimes it feels like it's just been so long that I've been sober from love that like I'm totally dead inside. But I know I'm not. I know this is just a great time where I'm like building my roots in life and like who I am and how I want to be and my standards and all the things. And I just trust. I only need 1 in 1 billion chemistry. You know what I mean? Like think about like all the great chemistry you've had in your life and like does it boil down to be like 1 in a billion? You know what I mean? The really good chemistry? I think so. So I look forward to my 1 in a billion chemistry happening again. Maybe another cruise crush, maybe a little cruise romance someday, maybe a little cruise, I don't know, vacation. It would be such a fun romantic vacation to take because it's very easy to just spend most of your time in your room. But I am really looking forward to hearing Rachel tell me all about. She's going on a Virgin cruise next, and so I'm looking forward to hearing about an adults only cruise. But Virgin doesn't have a main dining room, so I feel like there's a little bit of a trade-off, right? You don't get a fancy chandelier that's multi-store. I cannot tell you how much I love this chandelier. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my cruise tale. Thank you for tuning into this. I know that your most precious things that you have to offer are your time, treasure, and talent, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. If you want to support the podcast, all the info is in the show notes. My Patreon is full of ways to support you in your spiritual development and your self-care. And I just absolutely would love to support you in any way that I can. But I appreciate you tuning into the podcast. And I hope you'll look at other episodes and maybe go look at my cruise vlog. I'm Self-Care Party on YouTube if you're not already watching this on YouTube. Here's that bat again. So hopefully you'll tune in there and subscribe because it really does matter. And I'm sorry I never got the bat on camera. We've just talked a lot about it. It's really stunningly like close. It's like just keeps circling and then going back to the tree. So cute. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.